I'm standing here right before 7th and Arch Street. There's a mural here, the 13th Amendment, which is no slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crime. But I'm kind of curious. Slavery is an evil that has loomed over our nation since its founding. I'm curious what slavery might look like today. So what does slavery look like in America today? And does the 13th Amendment need to be amended, or what have you? But anyway, we're down here in the vicinity of where the debate between Harris and Trump will take place on Tuesday, September 7th at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 8 p.m. there's like a, pre-debate airing on the news or what have you. David Muir, M-U-I-R, is the moderator of that. So he will be, I don't know if they use the word moderator or if there's another word, but in preparation for the debate, they have to close off a bunch of streets, and they'll only leave open, we need him for the intel. So you'd be surprised if people show up on your shorts. All of a sudden it goes up to like 5,000 views. So anyway, they usually look good. Anyway, they're starting to close off the streets, and they're using this really high fencing. So I didn't expect that. I didn't know how they were going to close them off. I just figured cones, police cars, like small barricades like at parades. This technically has been used. It's a federal building, this big gigantic block here. I always see like a big square block or box, black box, like wine, or black box on URLs. So you can get a designer URL for your own domain, or there's often a black box that people opt for, I guess. At least that's from the olden days, and I always think of this FBI office. This is across from the Federal Reserve, and this is the Federal Reserve here. The Franklin Mint is farther down. Can we go here? So hopefully I'm allowed in here where they're putting this up. The Comcast building is all the way up there. Chinatown is along the way to Comcast along Arch. This is William J. Green Jr. Federal Building. So this is all in preparation for Tuesday. This type of video reminds me of a guy who goes by Philadelphia Field Office for the Department of Justice, a Federal Bureau of Investigation. So because of the pandemic, a lot of things are handled remotely or virtually or invisibly, if you will, as opposed to people coming into the office, I believe. Federal Reserve Bank. But anyway, there's a guy who goes by Penguin 6 in Washington, D.C. He's a freelance photographer who has access to White House grounds and everything, and he will show, like, he'll scoot around on his scooter, and he will show, like, what it looks like to go in as a freelancer from the media. You get to grab a ladder, go out to South Lawn, whatever, watch the helicopter take off, and so forth and so on. Yes! They have the mural down here. Let's check it out. They have it's a rocky road to democracy over here for Ben & Jerry's with Biden with a drip of ice cream coming down his left chin. That mural looks remarkably like these alleged fraudulent ads for the Eagles. I saw someone with a news piece about these things, and I was like, that looks just like the Rocky Road one, but it's for the Eagles. Keep going straight. So here we are. They're closing a bunch of roads all around this vicinity, and this is where the Constitution Center is, and this is the material they're using. There's Starbucks here, which is actually new-ish. For many years they never had a Starbucks here. We'll go up through the Starbucks. I see Penske has supplies behind the Constitution Center. So they use Penske National Constitution Center, capital improvement projects, finance assistance provided by Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. So many years ago, Robert Kennedy Jr. Had a debate here in the Constitution Center, and he would fight for the Commonwealth, a redevelopment assistance capital program, the Honorable Governor Josh Shapiro. So I went to the debate because it was open to the public. It was advertised on like NPR and everything. And I was looking to sort of find a niche or and to do interesting things. And I wound up down here watching a debate between Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and I don't know the other guy's name, but the other guy stood for free enterprise. Now, what I know is in either position, and I'm sure the free enterprise guy did this a lot because I got that impression from his expressions, but I could be wrong. But someone has to play devil's advocate in government. Although a lot of people, I experienced something so weird that free enterprise sounds good to me. So, but anyway, here's the Constitution Center. But the guy who debated him might have just been there to argue a point to show the difference between someone who's arguing for the Commonwealth and public lands provided for people to be able to enjoy for free, and free enterprise who would grab up those lands and then charge an arm and a leg or only allow certain people. It would be more exclusionary and so forth and so on. So the First Amendment, the fifth is plead the fifth. And it actually is, if someone says plead the fifth, it actually is the Fifth Amendment, but it's also worded like I have nothing to say, where normally people hear it as remain silent, you have the right to remain silent kind of thing. The First Amendment gallery, explore the 5 freedoms, religion, speech, press, assessment, petition. So that's the First Amendment. In 2021, they had the 19th Amendment here, which is about women's suffrage. I thought it was interesting because I lived on 19th Street for so long, and the 19th Amendment kept coming up, and I was suffering a lot because of something that started in 2011. And they had all these women's suffrage flags over here. Now they have the First Amendment press in time. But this is all Independence Mall. It goes all the way up there to where the Constitution was actually drafted or debated or what have you. And the streets all around this area will be closed to regular traffic. I saw on there that there's in some places there'll be 1 lane open, and of course a lot of people will be driving around here because of this major event here in Philadelphia where the Constitution was ratified, signed, drafted, debated a lot, and so forth and so on. Delaware being the first state to actually ratify the Constitution, or basically sign the Constitution and buy into it. Right, they totally bought into it. Could go this way. So, wow, coming in, we get to see the crew setting up and everything. Isn't this neat? So, Edge, all sorts. So I feel like that guy from Penguin 6 in Washington, D.C. I don't have access or anything. On a few occasions, I was allowed to get press access to, little low-level event things. Just because I was a freelance writer and everything. Oh wow, the blue carpeting or whatever, they're going to use this backdrop or whatever.